Welcome back. Many businesses don't understand what branding is or how essential it is to their businesses. Customers cannot differentiate products/services in a crowded marketplace without a strong brand. So, unfortunately, your customer could be losing out on potential sales and market share. Well, I have here with me Mr. Omolayo Arikawe, a brand and marketing consultant, to put us through the world of branding and marketing. Thank you for being on the show. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much.
Nice to have you on the show.
Same here.
So, you're a brand consultant?
Exactly. Brand and marketing consultant.
Great. So, what does it entail to start a brand? Let's come from that angle. What does it entail to start a brand?
Okay. Thank you, Mbo. So, firstly, I'd like to introduce myself.
Yeah.
Okay. My name is Omolai Arikawe. I run a brand and marketing consulting firm, Frontiers Consulting. And what we majorly do is train, consult, and provide marketing and brand services to businesses. Right, we usually say that we work with entrepreneurs to basically put them on the front line in terms of the global scale, in terms of to build their brand to world-class kind of business, right? Because most of us are we can be very comfortable with whatever it is we're doing at the moment, and not see how we can be doing it in a bigger way, right? So that's why we provide these services in terms of ensuring that there's constant business, because I mean, if you don't have customers, there is no business, right? And also at the back end, what we also do is make sure that there is a quality to how people perceive their business, right? The likes of Apple, the value of the Apple logo alone is what.
Okay, before you go into in-depth analysis, I want to know how to start a brand before you even think of going into marketing the brand.
Oh, how you start a brand?
Yeah, what does it entail to start a brand?
Okay.
What are the things needed?
Let me start by defining what a brand is.
Good.
Right? Most of us have perceived the brand to be your logo or your your logo, your flyer and stuff like that, but it's way more than that. Your brand is any promise that you make to your customer. And when I mean any promise that you make to your customer is, take for instance, iBrand for instance.
Yeah.
Our promise to your promise to your customer may be projecting their business in the light, and what you want to make sure to do is that whatever promise you're making to them, you live up to that promise. Yeah. That's what your brand is. Now your brand promise is that we're putting your business in the front line using our media here. And what you also want to do is how to know that your brand is living up to its promises by saying anytime you come here, whatever it is you promise gets done. So now you need to see a brand, not just your logo is part of it, but what the another part is making sure it's the promise, because the brand is about perception, right? What it is when they think about your brand, they should not just be seeing the logo, but they should see that fulfilled promise that you made to them.
Good. Okay, so when you say it's not just the logo and its perception, do we have to bring people into it? You know, does people really, for a brand to work, it involves people?
Yes.
But you left that out.
People in what sense?
Okay, you said it's the perception,
right? Yes.
You know, keeping your promise. But are there not people who will help to keep this promise?
Yes, of course, they will. I mean, setting up your team and stuff. Yeah.
So people are really a bigger aspect of a brand.
Exactly. They're also a huge part of the brand.
So how do you come about marketing your brand when you've, kept to your promise? Let's go into the marketing aspect of it.
Oh, okay.
It's one thing building a brand and one thing selling it.
Exactly.
So how do you sell your brand?
Okay. Part of what we do at Frontiers is that ensuring that most people are focused on sales at some point. If you see, most people tell you, why should I be focused on spending so much on building my brand? Rather, let me focus on getting sales, right? That's marketing. So let me define what marketing is, right? So marketing is everything you do before you make a sale, right? Sharing flyers, posting online, getting people, everything you do just to get people interested in whatever it is you're selling, right? And that's when you talk about marketing effort, running ads and stuff like that. So that's what marketing is about. So let me get your question again.
How do you market a brand after setting up a brand, for example, iBrandTV?
Yeah.
So how do you market it for people to know? What are the things involved in marketing a brand?
Oh, okay. That's it is good that I laid the foundation, right?
Yeah.
What you do to market a brand it's quite simple, and I'll just start from the fundamentals because we have short time. It starts from understanding who your audience is.
Okay.
Right. So there is no marketing anything if you don't understand who you're going to market to start with. I realized how, and you need to also realize how the whole world of marketing has shifted. Right. Before it was cool to share flyers by the roadside, you know, but now it's
digital.
It's more digital.
Yeah.
Right. And most of them were post-COVID. And we need to realize how things have shifted post-COVID. People were not so comfortable doing business online, but now, I mean, if you're not online, if you're not on Instagram, if you're not on TikTok, it might seem like you're far behind, right? But, I mean, that's the first thing you need to realize, that understand who you're speaking to. Who is that person? Because when you realize who you're speaking to, instantly, if you introduce yourself to me, I can know that, oh, this person fits into whatever it is I'm selling. So most people, they tend to, another myth around marketing a brand is everybody is my target audience, right? Everybody cannot be your target audience because there's an ideal person that should always be in your mind when you're trying to sell something, or you're trying to market your products, because that way you can be focused when you're trying to market anything. So I'm not just saying it is anybody. Who is the person? Maybe someone struggling to find his way in life. Then I'm a purpose coach. I know this person is trying to find his way. Anybody, I know that, okay, maybe then I can start to say, oh, I can find them in schools. They're trying to graduate from secondary school, or I can take it up to maybe tertiary institutions. Yeah. Then my effort makes more sense. I'm not just trying to meet just anybody. I can know, okay, this is where I can find them. This is what I should do. Then just try to find your target audience first.
Okay.
Then,
after finding your target audience, how do you get them to patronize you? Because, for example, it's a different thing. You've gotten your target audience. So how do you get them to patronize you? Because sometimes it's tough. Mm-hmm. You know, this person needs the product.
I've started business before.
But convincing them to buy into what you're selling or to patronize your brand. So how do you convince, I wouldn't say, but some difficult customers. Yeah, how do you persuade them?
Right. So before, okay, I was just thinking about it this morning that before I have moved from different stages of selling, and I would explain.
Can you list the stages?
Okay, here. So the first stage, 3 stages actually. I moved from 3 stages, and the third stage, I mean, I think that it is like the top level, because right now I sell some quite high ticket stuff. So the first stage, I used to think that selling something is trying to convince somebody, but you'd be wrong. The second stage is trying to make the person see reasons why they should buy from me. It's those things you sell, but the ratio to conversations to selling will be low. And what I mean by ratio is, say for instance, I speak to 10 people.
Yeah.
At the first stage, I might just get maybe just 1 person to buy out of 10 people that I've spoken to. That means you are still calling. Doesn't say, you'll be like, I'm still trying. I spoke to 10 people, only 1 person bought. But to get to a point where maybe like 5 people will buy out of 10 people, you need to get to like the third stage. The third stage I mean to is speaking to them in a way that you're not just selling to them, they're the one else selling to you. And the second stage I was trying to explain was that the fact that I'm trying to say, okay, this is why you should buy my product. I'm trying to tell you all the benefits, which is good. You might sell at 3 out of 10 you might sell 3, but to get to that point where you sell 5 is, number 1, take for instance, I'm trying to sell you this mug, and I start out by asking you questions. I lead you to the point where you realize that this mug is what I need in my house. Rather than saying, I just started this business. I'm selling mugs now, blah, 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 blah. I'm trying to convince you. The person is wondering, why do I need this mug? But if I'd come to you and say, oh, when did you move to your house? So what kind of mugs do you picture that would be nice in your apartment? But the person says, oh, I don't know. I've just bought some. I brought some from my previous house and stuff. So what do you think? When each time someone visits your house, how do you want them to feel? And the person says, oh, sometimes I get to some high net worth people come to my house and I don't know, sometimes I feel embarrassed. Oh, then this is a mug. I think, what do you think about this mug, right? And the person says, it's a very fine mug. I don't. And then the person is sold in. I'm not just trying to convince you, but the person has seen a reason why they should buy it. And then we can start talking about price. Okay. Instead of saying, oh, I just started this business, blah, blah, blah. Nah.
Okay, I get it. Thanks. Okay, so how old you say you run a marketing firm?
Yes, yes.
How old is your firm?
Okay, I've been doing this for about 3 years now.
So what does it entail keeping up a brand, like sustaining your brand?
Okay, sustaining a brand.
Because, sorry to cut in, there's some businesses who start and the next thing they fold up.
Okay.
Or sometimes they just go, they started high and the next thing they diminish and they're out of it. So what does it take to sustain a brand, like keeping it?
It's pretty simple. And this goes far beyond maybe sustaining a brand. I would say it is starting. So when you decided to start that business or the brand, what's your why? Why did you decide to start? And most people they don't see the long term in whatever it is they're doing. And there's no crime in not seeing a long term. But there are different reasons why anybody should start a business. And there's this I was going to explain something that you need to see that not every business you should do for 20 years. Some businesses are just going to give you leverage, in the sense that it gives you an opportunity to start another business, but you're not be starting from scratch. And to your question about how to sustain your brand, you need to ask yourself, what's your reason? And also understand that you will not always feel like it's not going to always be rosy, right? There will always be bad times. So don't say because I have started this business and it didn't all go as planned. Business, it's never going to go as planned. In business, that's what most business owners that have tried for years understand, that nothing ever goes as planned. So you need to be comfortable with the fact that things are going sideways, and have a resolve in your mind, that be resourceful. That's the word. Be resourceful in the sense that have a resolve that, look, whatever it is, we're going to do this.
Okay, good. So how do you deal with low patronage?
Low patronage?
Yes.
So this is where...
Because this is where most businesses fold up.
Yeah. I'll say it's because of two things. One is lack of thorough understanding of what exactly their business is about. Because if you don't understand what your business is truly about, what exactly it is you're selling, and it could be for many reasons. You might just be selling the wrong product. You know, some people create products and then expect to find customers. It should be the other way around. You should have customers and create a product for them.
So that means going into research, making research
Exactly.
before starting.
Something called market research.
Okay, but you didn't tell us that. We want to know everything that involves brand and marketing.
I will come for a masterclass then.
I hope your masterclass is not really expensive.
No. I mean,
so how the duration and the amount?
Oh, for my masterclass?
Yes.
Okay, every month I hold the masterclass at Marriott Hotel. Okay. For 100,000 actually.
And what's the duration?
It's for a day.
For a day, yes. 100,000. Yes. How many hours?
It's a full day training. Covers your buffet session, covers your breakfast, covers a 1 month strategy with me on your business. So that's what I do. So
when next are you planning to? When next is the masterclass?
Oh, I have another one in next 2 weeks, 25th.
Next 2 weeks. So how can one register for it?
Oh, just my number.
Your number?
Yes.
So do you want to say
yes, I can.
Here? Okay, go ahead.
090 33 968 268.
Maybe we should take that again.
090 33 968 268.
Okay, no problem. So you've talked about brand.
Right.
What pushed you into starting a brand and marketing services?
Right. It's for a simple reason. Before we got into this question, you're asking me that. So why should when you're asking about low patronage and stuff, when you've realized the problem in a geographical or psychological space, right? most businesses are struggling, right? Just imagine you're the person who can provide some sort of support to them and say, okay, we can help you do this, we can help you do that, we can help you do that. Every business has one challenge or the other. No matter how big, no matter how small a business is, they are all dealing with a challenge at different points. The biggest organizations you can find are dealing with a particular challenge. It might be CSR. We have different levels of entrepreneurs or organizations. There are certain ones who are still trying to, who are still trying to figure out sales. There are some that have figured out how to get a number of sales, but they'll still get a number of sales. There are still certain organizations like that. There are certain organizations that are dealing with corporate challenges, motivation within organizations and stuff. There'll always be different challenges within organizations. Then I realized that, what if I'm the person who solves this for them?
Let's put it, you are the savior. Okay, so away from business,
right.
What do you think about image branding, like self-branding?
Oh, that's what we call personal branding.
Personal branding.
Right.
Good. Okay.
Don't worry. It's any word.
Yeah.
It's fine anyway. So it's personal branding, right? And one of the things I also realize is most entrepreneurs don't value personal branding enough. And I'll explain. Just the people in the world of marketing, you hear people buy person before they buy the product. If I like you, I'm more disposable to buy your product. So take, for instance, the likes of Elon Musk. People have grown to like to have a more affiliation with Twitter, rather because of his personality.
Yeah.
And certain things like that you never can tell who wants to buy a product, and they'll find out, oh, who is this guy? Then they see, oh, I can really do business with you. Before, at the top level meetings, they try to find out. If you watch any investor TV show, the likes of, I don't know if I can mention here, the likes of Dragon's Den and stuff.
Yeah. They
ask questions about your personality. So who are you? What were you doing before now? Right? That's to tell you that people want to find out, who are you first before are you dependable? And if they can find that on LinkedIn, I mean, if you're also an employee, you should also invest in your LinkedIn. It's like a resume that you don't know you have, but if you're investing in all those places, instantly you start to attract opportunities. You never can tell who sees those kind of things and stumbles on it. And have at least 2 platforms where you're constantly sharing your journey, constantly sharing things about you. You're having a board meeting today, share about it. You're having an interview today, share about it. And it should not just be about your successes alone. People also want to see that you're open, you're authentic. But
some people only share their successes. Are you saying it's wrong? Because a lot of people do not really care about your failures. They just want to, read about your success, and that's it.
Well, it depends on how you tell your story. So be story-minded. So storytelling is an untapped wealth, I would say, because don't be victim-minded when you're sharing your story, whether it's a failure or whatever. Always try to see the positive part and share with people. Nobody wants to see you cry on the internet, right?
Yeah.
But sharing a story, some people have used, I lost on LinkedIn, some people have used the mistakes they made in an interview to actually get jobs because of how they shared the story. So they basically were open about how they lost an interview. And someone said, oh, this person looks like someone that is teachable. So they hired the person.
Okay, so which social media do you think is best to use when it comes to personal branding?
It depends on what you're comfortable with. And there are different kinds of content forms that you can be comfortable with. There's always, if you're good with text, you can do Twitter, you can do with LinkedIn. If you're good with images, you can do Instagram, you can do, what else?
Facebook.
If you're good with videos, excellent. And whatever it is you're doing anyway, you can do TikTok, you can do Instagram.
So WhatsApp is not coming into the picture?
Oh, WhatsApp, the only challenge with WhatsApp is that it's an enclosed system where people that know you are the only people which is not bad. But just understand, these people, it always falls back to your audience. People that are on your WhatsApp, if you realize that people on your WhatsApp are not people that are looking like, just share some things, but don't be too focused on it. People that, these people, they don't look like they can buy whatever it is I'm selling. But they can always share. So just know your energy should not be on that place. or it should be on all those other platforms.
What does it involve being a marketer?
So usually,
What's that one trait you must have?
this has me thinking.
You need to think.
So what one trait that it requires to be a marketer,
Yeah.
right? You have to be inquisitive because you're always researching. So the major work we do is in the mind of our customer. So before you have any meeting with any client, before you take up any project, you're always trying to understand, okay, who exactly is it? What's our goal here? So you have to find out, okay, even on the client side, the client is wondering, when you're about to have a meeting, the client has expectations, right? And you're trying to find out, okay, what's this person, what is this conversation going to look like before I can get this client? On the other hand, too, the person is talking about his goals. This is what we have done so far. Now you're thinking on the spot. You have to be very, very, I don't want to say good, but you have to be think fast when it comes to strategy, right? Because sometimes you'll be on a call and people are expecting you to provide solutions right at that moment before you can seem convincing, right?
Okay.
So you have to learn to think strategically, provide solutions for business, and be a lover of business, so understand trends in businesses, right?
Okay, so starting a business, a brand, all started with you having an idea.
Yes.
So after writing down this idea, how do you bring them to life? Because I think there's a friend of mine who has written her ideas for like 3 years now, but she's finding it difficult starting it. So how do you bring your idea into reality, into life?
Okay. There's something called reverse engineering and forward engineering, but I don't want to go into that. So bringing your ideas to life starts from, people say capital, right? So there are certain business where you don't need to have a capital, right? All you need to do is just find somebody that produces it, bargain what you can do. So it depends on what business exactly. I don't know what business it is you're starting, but every business, it could be and you don't need. I think there are about 4 capital you need to start a business.
Which are?
So number one is always the money.
Mm-hmm.
There's the social capital. So sometimes you might not have money, but you have people, right? Which can be enough for you to start that business, however small it is you want to start.
But sometimes you need money too. Money is a major thing. Because, for example, you say going to meet someone who produces the product.
Right, yeah.
One, if you are to call the person on phone, you need money to recharge your phone.
Yeah.
You need money to pay your way down there. So,
I mean, at that point, I don't think everybody that's not your capital to start with. I mean, picking up the phone, that means you're not already started. You're gonna find a job, right? You're gonna find a job at least. But I mean, everybody needs to have that level of self-sustenance before. I mean, if you need time to start, I mean, first get a job, then look for a business on the side. You can use to.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Malayo. But before we let you go,
Right.
what's that one advice you can give to someone that owns a business or that has a brand out there?
Okay, my advice would be that it still remains the same, right? Ensure you have a resolve that whatever it is you're doing, it can get as big as however it is you've imagined. And I'll explain, because it's only your responsibility. Every idea you have, only you only have nobody shares that how big it can be. Like only you has that vision in your mind. I might try to explain it to you, but you might not see it, right?
Okay.
So how big that vision is to you, ensure you keep working on it and keep putting it into work. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Malayo.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing your thoughts
You're
with us.
welcome.
So I've been talking to Mr. Amolayo Arikawe. He's a brand and marketing consultant, and he has told us or put us through the processes of having a brand and also marketing your brand. We'll be back after this short break for more segments. Stay with us.